What's up guys, this is going to be a quick video to talk about the short trailer SNK released for Garou 2, or as we now know it, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves at EVO yesterday. And you know, being the huge Fatal Fury mark that I am, I'm sure a lot of you are curious as to my thoughts about it. I mean, I made a few reactionary tweets, but those are just kind of whatever. So, to just quickly go over the teaser itself, we have a big map of Southtown and Second Southtown showing various locations from across the whole series, with a bunch of character voice clips playing throughout, and they are as follows. Rock Howard, possibly a Hulk tomorrow whose balls have dropped, Mai Shiranui, BJNA, Billy Kane, Marco Rodriguez, or possibly Mr. Karate 2 in my fucking dreams, probably Hotaru, possibly Gato, T-Zoc, probably Kane, and then Terry. Then we see Rock and Terry's models. They have a little gander at each other, throw some fireballs, and then do the startups to their super moves, and then bam, logo. And that's basically it in a nutshell. So from a teaser like that, the biggest point of discussion, like it is with basically every fighting game, is going to be the graphics. So, City of the Wolves looks more or less how I expected. If you recall what I said in my original reaction to the first Garou 2 teaser, they've suspiciously put a lot of Garou stuff in KOF 15. This can't just be a KOF 15 asset flip, it just can't. That's not what Fatal Fury deserves. Yep, those sure are touched up KOF 15 models. Yes, the move effects do look better, the hair is genuinely 10 times better than whatever the fuck KOF was going for. They even seem to have fixed some of the god-awful proportions, and there is clearly more of a defined art style with this cel-shaded-ish look going on and the comic book type effects whenever they use a super. And it all looks fine. Acceptable. Pretty good even. But you know what else looked acceptable? Sam Show 2019. KOF 15. It just falls into the same category as those games for me, because while yes, the visuals do look better, I don't believe it's enough of a graphical jump to garner that much merit. What I mean is, I don't think how this game looks is going to turn the heads of a lot of normies. And considering SNK is trying to break out of its niche, that's not really a good thing. With all the corporate talk of becoming a top 10 industry developer, the hyping up of the Saudi investors and all the company reshuffling and expanding, I was expecting a trailer that would reflect all of that stuff. But this just looks to be on about the same level as Sam Show 2019, which, again, let me reiterate, isn't a bad thing. But I doubt your average Joe is going to look at the game and think, oh man, this looks sick. Right? Not when you've got Strive, Tekken 8 and SF6 to compete with. Certainly not to the extent where it'd convince them to buy the game. And I'll keep it a buck right now and say that for my money, fighting EX Slayer looked better, and I would have loved for them to have that level of fidelity with City of the Wolves. Now that's a game that probably had way less budget than SNK can muster, but you know, even as I say this, and I've rewatched the trailer like a million times, I'm still conflicted. Like, my brain is constantly pinballing between, actually this kinda looks pretty good, and, this doesn't really look that great. And unfortunately, I just feel like it's gonna eventually end up settling with the latter. I feel like if the game truly looked really good to me, that conflict wouldn't even exist. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking so much about the graphics. Like, shit, it's a fighting game, isn't it? A video game? Yeah, 100%. Maybe graphics discourse is overblown a bit. But consider this. What is SNK's claim to fame? Like originally back in the 90s? What were they known for? Maybe even think back to before you were an SNK fan. What got you into them? Was it maybe the fact that SNK games looked fucking beautiful? Arguably the best looking fighting games on the market. I know before I became a fan, I had a lot of SNK stage backgrounds saved to my PC just because of how amazing they looked. And even disregarding the old games, there's also KOF 12 and 13 to contend with, which, while more divisive today, are historically remembered as having state-of-the-art HD sprites. So creating games that look incredible visually is just ingrained as part of the company's legacy, and the expectation that SNK games look good is just something that isn't going away no matter how many games they put out that don't. I really hope I'm not coming across as whiny or entitled or overly negative. I probably massively am. I was just gunning for something a bit different from SNK with this game, and I'm just expressing my meager disappointment. I'm just being honest, really. I feel like that's gotta be worth something at least. I mean, last year I said that I didn't want this game to be a KOF 15 asset flip, so it'd be pretty disingenuous if today I suddenly ignored that after they show what heavily look to be modified KOF 15 models from Rock and Terry. And this is ending up to be a massive point of contention in the already cancerous graphics discourse for this game, and I'm just not fucking interested in taking part in it. I've clocked a lot of hours playing as Terry in 15, I've messed around with his 15 model in Blender up close. I notice a lot of similarities between the two in this trailer. If you can't accept that, I can't help you. And it bears repeating again because I feel like I can't stress it enough. My argument here isn't that City of the Wolves looks bad, just that it probably doesn't look good enough to make a big splash within the FGC, let alone the larger video mainstream. A lot of people will bring up this stupid fucking argument. This is just a trailer, bro, they literally have so much time to tweak the graphics. And even though time and time again this is proven to never fucking happen, people still parrot it. And I don't know why, really. This is how the new Fatal Fury is going to look, and if I wanted it to look better or different, well, too fucking bad, I just have to live with it. You don't have to get all up in arms defending it, just leave me to cope, honestly. Now, all of this is heavily subjective. You might absolutely love what you see from the COTW teaser and don't care about any of the criticisms I brought up. Maybe you disagree with the visual style I'd like for the series and really dig what they are going for. And you know what? That's totally fine. I do not want to take that away from you. Hell, I wish I felt the same. But I knew from the jump that I'd have a critical eye on this game, and a lot of the things I didn't want to happen seem to have happened. But you know, I could easily be completely wrong about all of this. Maybe the visuals will really resonate with a lot of people and the game will boom and push SNK into the FGC mainstream. And that would be awesome, of course it would. But as a pretty hardcore SNK fan, all I can do is make judgments based on what I see and know from my time in the fandom. Regardless to all of this, I'm at least glad the band-aid has been ripped off, and I'm sure I'll quickly start to just accept how the game looks, and then I can start actually looking forward to more stuff we'll get to see from it. But if I had to put a sentence on the game now, I think we're looking at a similar situation that Sam Show 2019 had. Game is good, looks decent, is a lot of fun, and is supported with extra content for a couple years, but lives and dies within the walls of the established fandom. And I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think this game is going to do anything significant for SNK's popularity. Oh, and judging by the trailer, we're not getting an English dub. God damn it.